Good evening, YouTube. This is Kayleen String coming at you with tonight's ration review. I'm waiting for a few others to come in, but I'll go ahead and tell you what I have so that those who do come in late, much later on, will be able to see what it is, but of course I'll say it periodically. This is from MRE Nation. It is in a long list of their single meal civilian rations. There is their information, mrenation.com, plus their phone number. And it is in menu 43, Jalapeño beef curry. And as I've shown before, it is in the same type of bag as a standard meal spec MRE. I think they get the blank bags from the same source and then just have them printed with their information on them. And they just attach a sticker with the menu number and the name of the main entree. And so this is a menu that you will not find in meal spec MREs, whether they are the standard issue ones, the kosher, halal, or meal cold weather, which are all freeze dried. But this is one that they themselves have created. Black Dog Bob has done a great job in upping the ration game for American civilian rations. And people from around the world who are in the YouTube ration community have gotten a few of these. Some have been sent overseas. Will from Just in Time Prepping, you're the first one to drop in. Now Dub C is here. So I was just about to crack into this jalapeno beef curry. I was just saying where I got it, and that these MRE Nation rations are starting to show up in hands of reviewers in other countries. I saw one of these done not all that long ago by Michael Green over in England. Someone had sent him an MRE Nation ration, and he thought it was pretty darn interesting. So I have my pot of water on the stove boiling for the coffee, and I have my Chinese insulator bag to put the flameless ration heater in, and I have a bottle of cold water right there behind my MRE Nation mug. I have my drinking jar here. Yeah, I'm excited to try this jalapeno beef curry because it's something different than what you would normally see in an American ration. Now the peelable seal worked pretty good, except there was a bit of a tear here, but you know, this will end up being my trash bag anyway. Now, this is their accessory pack in just a clear plastic bag instead of the white lunch sack folded style Mylar type bag. But I'll open that in a bit. I wonder who likes this. I think some guy named CT likes this grape jelly. SCM stands for Sweetened Condensed Milk. Southern Ohio Prepping. I just watched your video on your stuff that you have laid out that people should have for that funky stuff that's been going around. Yeah, I know I'm missing some of that, but hopefully I'll get those items. So that's sweetened condensed milk, and that's what I'll use in my coffee. This is I'll call it a fat pack of peanut butter because it's bigger than what you would get in the standard US MRE. Multigrain snack bread. I was kind of hoping for tortillas, especially the chipotle. I was kind of hoping to see those in here, but, you know, that will do. Oatmeal cookies. These are MRE Star branded oatmeal cookies. I haven't had one of these in a long time. This is a chocolate first strike bar. This was my favorite. Of course, that was the only one I had until I got a hold of the mocha ones. But I haven't had a chocolate first strike bar in a long time, so I'm stoked to see that. Flameless ration heater. Now this is a short pack one. So this is 2012, so I may swap that out, or I just may go get some salt to add to that instead of just this one might not go off as well. And last thing in here is the main itself, and it comes in a box like what used to be in US MREs. I think MRE Star might still use the boxes, and the mains for the halal MRE still come in the boxes. Yep, this is MRE Star. That's why it's in the box, because they still use the boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this accessory pack. I have this long spoon, which I will not be using because I have my foreignmre.com spork. There is the Smarties, which are the solid sugar discs, as opposed to the Canadian Smarties, which are similar to M&Ms. And I'll be doing a video about those later on. And the rest of the items in here, there's pepper, salt, the True Lemon, or no, there's a True Lime, True Lemon, which I will not be using tonight because I don't think they would match the, although the lime might with the jalapeno curry, but I don't think so. Got the coffee creamer and the sugar, which I won't be using because I'm going to be using the sweetened condensed milk in the coffee. This is a fruit punch. This is the clear mix where it has no color at all, so it'll just look like maybe slightly cloudy water. Moist towelette and the deep rich coffee, which if I want to make it as much as I would normally make it, I would be doing 2 of these. Or if I want to follow the directions as it says, I would maybe use half the water, or I could go totally different and throw some cocoa mix in there. But I'm going to experiment with just cutting the water that I would normally use, because I don't feel like getting out an extra coffee for this. And that drink mix will be going in the drinking jar. So I'll be putting all of the trash in this bag when I'm done. And I'm going to get some salt and I'll be right back. This is probably double the amount of salt that's in that little packet. So that's why I just went and got some of the salt out of my sea salt grinder. I've never done one of these with the salt in it before, these short pack ration heaters, so I'll give that a go and see if that helps it out. So this is the main out of the pouch. So they put the nutrition information on the pouch itself. Iron Fire Horse is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is jalapeno beef curry with potatoes. I'm saturating the element. Make sure it's good and soaked. I have the box, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. I'm just going to leave like one corner up like that, so when the steam does start to come out. So I can already feel it getting. go ahead and open up this drink powder. I have one of these in my Ration mashup box with my other drink mixes, but I have not gotten into it yet. So it's the same flavor, and this calls for 8 ounces of water, and this drinking jar holds roughly 12 ounces. So I'll just take it up to there. As you can see, there's hardly any color. It may be getting just a tiny bit cloudy as the powder mixes, but other than that, it's a very, very clear drink. So people who are sensitive to food colorings, especially the reds, because this would normally be a red colored drink. If they are sensitive to especially the red food colorings, which some people are, then if they get something like this that has no color in it at all, then they would like that. So now I'm going to open up the coffee. This is that deep, rich coffee. Oh, yeah, if you go to MRENation.com and you buy at least most of the rations now, I think they have completely switched over to these colorless drink powders. But you can also find some other ones in the stores that do not have the color in them. I don't know brands specific, but you could probably search them out online and just see what's out there. Then you go buy those, or just buy them online if you can't find them locally. So this will be my first time trying one of these drink mixes. So it's basically the flavoring and the sweetener without the added filler of the color. So I'm squeezing the sweetened condensed milk into the cup. This stuff mixes best when you use boiling water. And I put it in first and then add the hot water, so it seemed, at least for me, it seems to mix better that way. So my water is ready, so I'll be right back to get that in here to mix the coffee. I'll just put that much in there. Hidden Numismatist is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So this will taste a lot richer than I normally would with this because I use a whole packet of the sweetened condensed milk. But I'm only using 1 packet of coffee, not as much water, so I've never done it this way before, so this will be an experiment for me. See if I like this better or if I will just go back to doing 2 packets of coffee with that deep rich, or maybe another time I might make a mocha with it with a hot chocolate because I got lots of hot chocolate packets. Some flavored, some just basic cocoa mix. So there's the coffee. I'm going to go ahead and open everything else. I'm not hearing a whole lot of noise from Ration heater, but I can hear it. You might not be able to hear it, but I can hear it. This is a 2019 chocolate First Strike bar. Last year I did a comparison between one of these and the Canadian Soldier Fuel Bar when I got one in an IMP, and it's very close to this one. Just some slight differences in texture and thickness, but other than that they're almost the same. So this is a chocolate First Strike bar. These are the, well, these cookies seem to have survived intact. These are just oatmeal cookies. Oh, this almost feels like it's a double thick wheat snack bread. It almost feels like it'd be 2 super thin ones, but it is one solid piece. And seems to have handled the trip pretty well. I think there's more peanut butter in this packet than what this piece of bread can handle. James Ortiz is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I have MRE Nation's Jalapeño beef curry. It's currently doing time in the ration heater. In fact, I'm going to flip the pouch in here. I'm not hearing a whole lot of noise from it, but I think it could probably do with a pouch flip. Just to make sure that it's evenly heated. So I'm going to let that go for another few minutes in there. I'll probably put some of the peanut butter on the cookies in order to add a little bit of flavor to it. But I'm going to go ahead and put some, at least most of it, on this bread. That thing is starting to squeal a little bit. I'm also needing the grape jelly. I mean, a lot tinier hole for that to come out of, because sometimes these. I got all of the trash so far in the bag. Just makes her easy disposal. Now these foam bags came from Chinese rations, which I reviewed in 2017 or maybe early 2018. is when I got these, when foreignmre.com had these, and I saved these bags because I figured these would be great for using with other ration heaters. So that's why I saved them. And if I were to take a meal with a ration heater, I would add one of these to it so that I could trap that heat, especially if I was doing it outside. But so that is everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and take a taste of this coffee the way I mixed it, see if I like it, or if I'm going to go back to doing it. Do I usually do if I get the deep rich coffee, I just use 2 of them. Yeah, even with using a lot less water, I probably could have gotten away with maybe half the sweetened condensed milk, but I wasn't sure how that was going to taste with the whole packet in there. Oh, wow, that's the first time I've seen a super chat from Sleepy Dog, and Sleepy Dog is a new visitor, so thanks for dropping in. I do appreciate that super chat, Sleepy Dog, and I hope you enjoy this and do come back again. So, yeah, I'll probably go back to doing 2 packets of coffee if I do the deep rich, or I may add a cocoa mix to it instead of using the sweetened condensed milk or sugar and creamer. Oh, okay. Wow. Well, we won't tell. It'll be our little secret. No one will know. But I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of this part of the snack bread that didn't get anything put on it. Well, I will definitely go hit on your new channel later on. So now this multigrain snack bread does have a little bit of flavor from the extra grains that are put in it, but it's still quite dry. Now I'm going to take a bite with the jelly and the peanut butter on it. That is an improvement, but the peanut butter can be dry on its own. But having the jelly on there definitely helps out. Now I'm going to take a taste of this colorless fruit punch flavored drink mix. It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. It's not as strong, at least not to me. So if I had a couple more of these, what I would probably do is maybe not quite double the amount of water, but put 2 of those in. Or if I had, say, like if this was full of water, I would put 2 of those packets in there and just mix it up in there. That bottle holds about maybe 700 mils, I think, or something like that, or maybe a cup and a half. but it's not bad. I suppose if I wanted, some have tried taking these True Lemon and True Limes and mixing them with the other drink powders. But I'm just, I just don't feel like doing that. So I do save these. They will get eventually used for something else. They can be used as a drink mix on their own, because I did that with carbonated water. I mixed some of that Pellegrino carbonated water with 1 True Lemon and 1 True Lime plus a little sugar to make my version of, say, a lemon lime soda. And that was actually not too bad. It wasn't quite there with, say, Sprite or Sierra Mist or 7-Up, but it was actually not too bad. I'm going to take a bite of this cookie on its own. That cookie almost tastes like it has a little peanut butter in there. But later I might put some peanut butter on it. I might put some jelly on it. See how that goes. Now this First Strike bar, I haven't had one of these chocolate ones in a long time. I've missed the flavor of it. I like these. They got that crunch in them with the bits of crisp up rice. It tastes like a dark chocolate, so it's not excessively sweet. So that's good. That's what I like about that. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of here. That ration heater didn't get very loud, but it did get pretty warm. I'm just wiping it down to dry it off, and plus I'm shaking it down so that when I open it, I won't be having food going everywhere. They kind of put this tear notch almost a bit too low. That actually got 2 of them there. Now it's going to be quite soupy. I can definitely smell the curry. And that curry smells pretty good. This happens to be a 2019. And they use a 5-digit date code on here, at least if I'm reading this right. So it has 19 instead of just 9. And then 231st day. Looks like the print's kind of smudged. But, so that appears to be a fairly fresh one. So I tuck all that in there. Makes for easy disposal. Now this probably would have gone well with some rice. And if I had crackers, I could drop some crackers in here to kind of soak up some of the sauce. But there's a lot of sauce in here. There's potatoes. It's a piece of carrot. And there's a piece of the beef. The beef is quite soft. It's chunked up pretty fine. Here's a good look at what else is in there. The carrot is quite soft. The potato is quite soft. You could almost, you can smash the bits of potato in here. So, but the flavor is not too bad. It's actually pretty good. I just happened to like my curry with a bit of rice. I think there's some bell pepper in there as well. Oh, and there's a super chat from foreignmre.com, and that's Nina sitting in on that one. And Sue Nelson is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I have jalapeno beef curry. Let's see who else might have missed. I think that's... I don't think I missed anybody. I'm scrolling back through the chat. Yeah, I saw that at first. He dropped a super chat. I thought he was a new visitor until he said why that name. But anyway, it's still a new channel. So I will be hitting on that later. I don't want to do it now because I would kill the stream, and I don't want to do that. But I will go hit on that channel later. But this jalapeno beef curry, like I said, if it had some rice to put this on top of, that would be awesome. Or even putting some crackers in here, that would be a great thing to do. But put this bread in here much faster than I would want it to be, so I'm not even going to bother with that. But it's going to be this soupy. And so whoever gets this particular entree, unless you're going to add something to it to soak up the sauce, if you don't have a tray or something that can hold it, maybe put it in a bowl. But as I said, when I was first taking the stuff out of the bag, I was kind of hoping for tortillas, because I think the tortilla would stand up to putting into the sauce more than this than the snack bread, because the tortilla, even though it's a lot thinner, it's a lot tighter. It's denser. Tortillas were made to handle sauce. That's a staple bread of Mexican cuisine, and in other Central and South American countries, a lot of people, that's the only bread they eat is a tortilla. Sorry about that. I bumped my foam out. Yeah, so I've known that for a little while. Of course, the Canadian IMP that is called shepherd's pie, they put beef in it instead of the lamb. So I don't know if, obviously, if that's done intentionally to fool people into think that they're eating a real shepherd's pie. Of course, it's still not a real shepherd's pie, even if it had lamb, because it wouldn't be made in the right manner. But or if that was an unintentional thing and they just don't bother to change it. But I would still like to try it. Soccer 71 did the lamb IMP that I did last year. And he's glad he got that one. CT hooked him up with that, along with some other IMPs. But I commented that I was glad that he got it, because it's definitely a good one. So I would definitely recommend that one. But the one that's called shepherd's pie, I would like to try that one. I've seen the poutine one, and it definitely does not look anything close to what an actual poutine is. I've actually had that down here in the local restaurant, and one of these days I'm going to go back there and get it again. And this time I may take a picture of it, or maybe a short video clip, to show you what an Iowa chef does with it. And now they put thinly sliced in there, along with the fries and the cheese curds. And that was really, really good. But I will definitely get that down here again one of these months. But I sure wish I had some. I mean, I got rice. I got a pack of instant rice in my ration mashup box, but I'm saving that for when I start doing the mashups, which I will start doing possibly next month. I'm not sure, as I have the Titan freeze-dried 24-hour ration from Minotaur Trading Company. I have 2 more ex-MRE halal meals that are in the same pack. Some items were either taken out before it was sent to me, or somehow they ended up missing to begin with, or whatever, because it appears the breakfast components were taken out of that one. I think that one was a 24-hour one. Or maybe the outer bag just got damaged somehow. But I did do a preliminary inspection of it, and the two inner bags with the lunch and dinner portions, those are still intact. I had not opened those yet, but I will get to those. Well, that's odd because, I got the mains in that one. It's just the breakfast stuff is gone from that halal 24-hour ration. But I got everything else. But I'll be getting into that. And then the Sapacos, that case of Sapaco low sodium civilian MREs that were made in 2016 or had an inspection date of 2016, I'm not sure which. I will save those till after Ramadan. So during April, I probably will not be buying rations. Because I still may, I might buy some rations, but, or at least for May, I won't be buying rations to review during that month because, Ramadan will be going until the last week of May. But I will be getting into those Sapacos, so that case will just stay closed until after that. Oh, homemade tortillas are the bomb. When I was in Mexico, I had handmade tortillas as well as store-bought ones, and the handmade ones are the best. I do agree with you on that one. And speaking of handmade tortillas, Alaska Prepper has a handmade wood tortilla press that a subscriber had sent to him and actually made for him. So instead of just trying to use whatever surface he had for trying to make sure that his tortillas were evenly flat and as round as possible, he has that tortilla press, which is actually a work of art in itself. His is a wood one. And it's made out of 2 or 3 different types of wood. Emberetto's in the house. Thanks for dropping in. You're looking at jalapeno beef curry with a lot of sauce. I was kind of hoping that there would be more substance to it, or rice. This would have been nice with rice, even if the rice was already in it. So maybe if I could make a suggestion to Black Dog Bob, would be to add rice to this so that it's not quite so soupy, and the vegetables are a bit too soft. They just either been overcooked a little bit, or something, but they're just a little too soft. I even found a few lentils in here, and they're also quite soft. They almost just dissolve in your mouth. But the curry is right on. The jalapeno is there. I mean, the flavor itself is pretty darn good. But it's just the texture of the vegetables, and lentils could be a little bit more firm. I just took another bite of my bread with peanut butter and grape jelly on it. And then I took a drink of my coffee. But you know, despite the little nitpicky things about this thing, this is still pretty good. I mean, I've already got most of this gone. At least, I mean, I'll have sauce left. But would have been nice to have something to either dip in it or put this on. Or if you didn't have rice, if you put this over a bed of mashed potatoes, that would be good also. Or if you had noodles to put this on top of, that would be pretty good. But I'll still eat this all. In fact, I'll probably have at least all of this gone before I cut this stream out. And it would have to be very, very bad for me to not finish one of these things off. I've had a few older rations where there would be something that would be just too far gone. I wouldn't eat that. But other than that, you know, the oldest one that I've had was that corned beef. Or no, it was one that Old Smoky sent me. That I had the red packet taster's choice, which had not gone moldy. It's a very rare occasion for one of those not to get moldy, and I happened to got one of those, and I was very surprised. I thought I was going to have to go chase down another coffee or just have the cold drink, but yeah, that one was a great surprise. And then the other brown bag, the corned beef hash one that I got from foreignMRE.com when they had that, I had another coffee, and that was not the red packet taster's choice, and I was able to drink that one too. The flavor of this wheat snack bread, even though it is a multigrain, it does have kind of a weird aftertaste to it. But no doubt that's from the preservatives that's in there. But having the peanut butter and the jelly on it, that definitely helps that. Because without that on there, I probably would end up dropping some of this into the sauce. You know, just for the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and take a bit of it. Put it in the sauce and see what that does. It almost covers up that weird aftertaste. I'm sure if I left it in there longer, it probably would soak up more of the sauce. But it almost covers up that weird aftertaste. I think the companies that do this, the bread for U.S. Ration, need to do something different, because I'm sure soldiers out in the field who have to eat these for days at a time, unless they get tortillas, they probably, or crackers, they probably would get tired of eating this bread, you know, 2 or 3 times a day, or however many of these rations they might get in a day, depending on where they're at, what they're doing. But since this is my dinner, obviously I will finish it. I just wanted to try that and see if that would do anything. This bread also, because it is so dry, it does make you thirsty. It makes you want to take a drink of something. But still, I'm glad I got this one. And there will be more of these unique entrees that I will be getting in the future. And of course, I'm still going to be on the hunt for foreign rations, and of course, I will be at the mercy of customs. Will they get their greedy claws on the next one that I order that comes from outside the U.S., or will they leave it alone? You know, it would be interesting to see what happens if I order an American ration that was stored overseas and then sent back here. It'd be interesting to see if customs would get a hold of it. Or would they leave that alone? Say, if I ordered a halal MRE that was, say, stored somewhere in Europe, and I bought that one, and it is repatriated, so to speak. Would customs get a hold of the main out of that thing? Or would they leave it alone, seeing that it's an American ration? That will definitely be something to do, see what happens with that. And if anyone else has tried that, order an American ration that was stored overseas, did customs get a hold of it, or did they leave it alone? So if I have not heard of any other reviewers having that issue, but then I don't know if that's ever come up where that could be a problem. I mean, if you look on eBay, you'll find, for instance, halal MREs that are being sold by someone in Lithuania. I made short work of that one. Other than the textures, I've said that jalapeno beef curry was pretty good. The curry wasn't overpowering the jalapeno, and the jalapeno wasn't overpowering the curry. But I would just like to have seen some other things in with it, or a couple of different things, either rice to go with this, or crackers, or even tortillas to put that on. And if you had a ramen, instead of using the seasoning packet, you would cook up the noodles, strain them, put this stuff over top of those noodles. That would probably be pretty good. But I think rice or mashed potatoes or a thicker, heavier pasta would probably be better. Then again, that's just my opinion. But it was still a good choice. I'm just checking the chat to see if there's anything new. Yeah, feel free to keep chatter unless you're all enjoying your own dinner as you're watching me eat mine. I just took some of the peanut butter and the jelly and put it on the cookie. See, do I like it with the peanut butter on it, or better than a jelly on it, or what? So I'm gonna try with just the peanut butter by itself. It doesn't improve the dryness of the cookie, but it does enhance the peanut butter flavor. But the jelly, that tastes pretty good on it. The jelly, but I think it's a better flavor fit, at least for me, on top of this oatmeal cookie that does taste like it has a tiny bit of peanut butter in it already. Yeah, the grape jelly on there, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to get a little different. Just for the sheer heck of it, I'm going to put a little bit of peanut butter on this per strike bar. Just see what it tastes like with the chocolate, the dark chocolate. It's actually not too bad. Actually tastes pretty good like that. It again makes me curious if there is a peanut butter flavored First Strike bar. If there is, how does that taste? And if there is, I wouldn't mind trying it. Now the peanut butter, I think there is a peanut butter Soldier Fuel bar that has been in some IMPs. But I have yet to see a peanut butter First Strike bar. So there's a peanut butter dessert bar that MRE Nation does. But I have not had one of those yet. So I have a mocha dessert bar. I haven't gotten into that one yet. And I know there's a chocolate one. Haven't got one of those yet, but the mocha dessert bar will make an appearance in the near future when I start doing the mashups, because I have a good number of main items to combine with the rest of the stuff. And the Titan ration has a pack of the instant rice and the instant potatoes. I may go ahead and, when I get into that one, I may just not even open those up at that time and just add them to my mashup box, so I would have 2 of each, so that I could have some additional sides that I could kind of play with as far as a flavor. And what I might do is, instead of sticking with only what's in these boxes, I might add a few items of my own, like some different seasonings. I might get some like sauce packets. What I do not have is like soy sauce packets. I need to go raid a Chinese restaurant and nip through those. I got some mustard packets. I got some mayonnaise packets. I got ketchup. I even have the Russian version of ketchup, their tomato sauce. I have all those packets in my fridge. That's where I keep all those. So I could be pulling some of those out. In addition to some other spices that I have in my kitchen that I could mess with. So I may be changing that up a bit just to be different. So like I said, I'll probably be adding the instant rice and instant potatoes from the Minotaur Titan ration to that collection of stuff for mashups, and I'll probably still be on the hunt for additional items to throw in there as well. I got an assortment of drinks in there, coffees, cocos. I got a Russian tea in there. I may throw in a hibiscus tea that I picked up from a store that I get my halal meats from, and some other stuff. In fact, I need to go there and take some pictures of some different brands of basmati rice to post up on Facebook for some locals who might be interested in trying it and have never tried basmati rice. And I posted in there that I actually have some basmati rice in my long-term food storage. So I will do that, and I will probably just go ahead and buy the smallest bag I can, and then divide that up and take that up to the memorial camp that's taking place March 20 through the 22nd, and then just giving it to them there so they can try it. See how they would like it. One wants to try it because it has lower carbs than the common rices that most people are used to eating. Maybe lower than jasmine rice or other Asian rices. And one because he's gone gluten-free, and he wants to just add new things to his diet so that he doesn't get food fatigue. Because if you eat the same thing all the time, that's what you can get. And that's why I also posted a picture of some black rice pasta, also known as forbidden rice. Yeah, it's a black Japanese rice that at the time only royalty was allowed to eat it. The commoner could not eat it, and that's why they call it forbidden. But that's all over Asian stores and online, so I just posted that just as something different that he might think about. If he gets that and he likes it, then that would be something that he could add to his preps, because I've added it to mine. Because even though I don't need to go gluten-free, I still keep those kinds of things on hand just to mix things up a bit, or in case I need to help someone out who absolutely has to avoid gluten, and say, this, you can have this, it should be no problem for you, so go for it. So that's why I add a lot of stuff like that, and will continue to do that as time and money allows, or if someone gifts it to me. And that's how I've gotten a good number of items that have stocked up, is because someone will give it to me. Or someone will bring stuff to my mosque thinking that we have storage for all of that stuff when we really don't. And or thinking that the mosque has its own food pantry for people to receive from, but we don't. We just don't have the space for it. But or someone will bring in an item that is simply not used, that they're just not thinking about what they bring in, and so I sort through those items. I leave there things that we would use, like canned vegetables, spices, the kinds of rice that most people in our community would eat, like the basmati rice, or canned fruits. But other things, like canned beans, we use those. In fact, I opened up a bunch of those last week to do some advanced prep for dinner that we did last weekend. So that's why I was not online Saturday until late, because I was there helping with that. But yeah, I sort through all that stuff. And what cannot be used there, or if it's such a small quantity that it would take a long time to build up enough for use in one meal. So basically, I liberate it. So I bring things like that home, and a couple of times someone would bring something in there that contains pork, and I would bring that home, but instead of keeping that myself, I pass it on. So I have given things like that away to others who would eat that. And yeah, so that's what I've done, and I'll continue to do that. You know, someone has brought in those Keurig cups. I have a whole collection of those, even though I don't have one of those K-cup brewers. But you don't have to have one of those K-cup brewers to use that. You just cut open the little cup, dump the contents. If it's coffee, you just dump the contents into your coffee maker, however many you need for how much coffee you're going to brew. Or if it's like a hot cocoa or a cider or a hot tea, then you just dump that into your cup. You're going to pour your hot water in, put your hot water in it, mix it up, and you're good to go. So those are part of my emergency supply that I can just open up those. Or if I am wanting to barter something with someone, I could take those out and trade those for something that I don't have that I need that someone else has. So that's another thing I can do with those. So that's just one way I have acquired some of the items that I have stored up. And I have been told that if there is something that I need that the mosque has, that it most likely will not be used anytime soon, or we have just I very rarely do that. I will only take away what will not be used. For instance, we do not have a drip coffee maker there anymore because the last one that was there, after my last coffee maker died, I brought one home to test. In fact, I brought two. One worked, but it leaked. And then the other one did not work at all. So the one that leaked, the carafe is fine, but the coffee maker itself leaked. And then the other one, it had a heat plate, but the heat plate did not heat up. So we ended up getting rid of those. But there's a pack of, like a half a package of the basket style coffee filters. Since those are not being used anymore, I brought them home. So better than those wasting space there. Yeah, we don't have the regular ground coffee there anyway. We only have instant there now. Because usually when someone wants to make 1 or 2 cups of coffee, they just use a hot pot or the kettle on the water, mix up instant coffee, and call that good. But most people will drink tea anyway. There's more tea that is made up there than coffee, and usually the only coffee would be a Somali type coffee that only a few people like, and I happen to like that. But yeah, so that's always done on the stovetop instead of in a regular coffee maker. So I figured, I will bring those coffee filters home. I will store them, even though they're too big for the coffee maker I'm currently using. That doesn't mean that they can't be used for anything else. After all, I used number 2 filters to make those rice moisture absorber packets that I have put a few in use here, and I took some to the mosque, and I've placed some of those around, and I have more of those left that will probably be getting placed around later. Well, that's just a little bit of me rambling about what I've done for some prepping. I've gotten on that from the fact that I have a kind of rice in my supply that a lot of people do not have in theirs, but I like variety. I like basmati rice. I eat enough of it. So I'm going to introduce a few other people to that. And if you want something different as far as rice goes, basmati rice takes a little more work to cook it. At least for some brands, for most brands of basmati rice, you have to you rinse it first. And then drain it before you actually put it in your boiling water. Or some you do like you might arborio rice, which is an Italian rice. You would toast it dry in a little bit of butter or oil before you add the water. And but there's certain kinds of basmati rice that you do that with. So each variety of basmati might require a different way to prepare it. So you have to read the instructions on the package to figure out the best way to do it. Or, of course, you can experiment, but you get a little bit, try, and if you like it, then that's what you go with, As a lot of other preppers say, eat what you store and store what you eat. So I like basmati rice, so I will store more of it. I like rice noodles, so I store those. Granted, I haven't tried every single one that's out there, but, considering the fact that I have had quite a few of them already, either in restaurants or at home, I have no qualms about storing those. And plus, if I have to help someone else, especially if they have to be gluten-free, then I have something that I can give them that they can eat and feel confident in eating it without getting into trouble. So just thought I'd throw that little bit in there. So haven't seen anything in the chat for a while, so I hope I hope I'm not froze. I hope you're all still able to see the chat and scroll it, and I hope I'm not freezing up or buffering or anything like that. If I am, I apologize. So far I haven't had any hiccups, but I think I will probably go ahead and call this one good. I'll finish these and the rest of this chocolate First Strike bar, and I will peanut butter and jelly packets, because I don't let these go to waste, especially in the jelly one to begin with, since I put some on the cookie and most of it on the bread. But I'm going to go ahead and call this one done. I'm going to hand it off to YouTube for processing. And so next week I will get into that bag of with the 2 XMRE meals plus the accessory pack that's in there that seems to have everything else that was supposed to go with it. So I will bust into that. And what I'll probably do is I like to swap out the tortillas in those, because there are tortillas in both of them. I want to switch those around, so I'll probably just open those completely up and maybe rearrange a few others in. After all, it's my ration. I can do it the way I want. So I'll probably go ahead and do that, and anything else that I don't use will probably get tossed in the mashup boxes. And same with the Titan ration. What I don't use will get tossed in the mashup boxes. And but I'll get into that XMRE. I'll call it a 12-hour ration, since the breakfast portion is apparently missing. But I'll get into that next week. And then after that, the Titan ration. And of course on the 20th through the 22nd, I'm actually leaving the 19th of March. Several of us are going to the location ahead of time to get the common areas set up. And also, as a reminder, I am still selling Ranger beads, $2 each per string, to raise money for the Jewel family. I have some new white and black strings that I've done. The orange ones got immediately spoken for. Someone bought all for them that I had made. So those are gone. The yellows are gone. 2 of the multicolor strings are gone. I have 2 left. And I have some browns, some grays, some other black, and other whites and blues. So I have a bunch of those. I got pinks. So and I go by string color, not bead color, because different beads on them. So, interested in helping out the fate of my Iowa brother known as Country Prepper, Jeremiah Jewell. Support his family after he died last year. This is one thing that I'm doing to help them out. So, if you're interested in buying your beads, in Facebook or my PayPal email, and for some reason on my out page, or if it's there, I'll just add it so that payments can be made direct to me through PayPal, and that money like 64 or something like that. I'd have to add up the numbers again. I'm keeping track of who donates how much, which bead strings they want, and some will just I only want this many. Some who have been generous in that way, so you're more than that. Or if you just is something that I can easily make that I can send out to before I head out to the camp. We take with me, and I will have. Oh, as I was about to say, I'm going to go ahead and hand this one off to YouTube for processing. I do want to thank you all for watching. Again, thanks to Art and Nina for the super chats. So next week, XMRE, halal. I'll figure that out later. So thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.